Hey everyone, welcome back to another session with me. So, this series we have already learned so many new tangles other than these Zentangle originals issued by various CZTs. And in today's session, we are furthering our journey, going to add two more tangles to our tangle kitty. The first tangle is by CZT Jodi Genovese. Yes, we have learned couple of tangles by now, released by her, and this tangle is called Wigwag. Yes, you can use it as a border ribbon style tangle, or you can use it any which ways you want as a filler. The tangle starts with this series of cursive C shapes, right? So, what I am writing or drawing here is this C shape, just like we draw the cursive C, yeah, like this. And the next thing is to add auras inside this C. That's the only step involved, and it looks like a nice border tangle if drawn in this fashion, right? So I drew the cursive C, I wrote the cursive C, and now I'm just adding auras inside it, and you get the tangle Wigwag. Yeah, so that's the first tangle, and the second tangle that we are going to be learning today is called Petalpanes. It's by CZT Chris Gerstner, and what I'm going to do here is just add these half moon kind of shapes, fill the inside like a checker, like a mesh, and then add these petal shapes like these, and then join these turns to the semicircle, and what you get is petal panes. A very organic tangle. Again, I'm showing you once again. Added a semicircle, added this lines, a mesh, checks, and then you can always draw behind. So first added these curves, and then with a slight curve to the lines, I'm just connecting these turns to the main. Tangle petal paints, you can always add some etching if you want. You can add something else inside here, but this is how the basic tangle goes. Yeah. So again, we are going to be drawing a tile together. We will use both of these tangles. Yes. And let's get started. So I'm going to first put my border. Start with a sense of gratitude. Take deep breaths, relax yourself. Enjoy the process. Don't worry about the outcome. The outcome is always beautiful. Just enjoy the process. Yeah. So once your border is in place, now let us start right away. So what I'm going to do is probably add one more aura and draw my tangle wigwag as a border. Yeah. So I'm going to ink both these lines and draw my wigwag inside it. So started with my inking of the border. Take your time slowly. Yeah. And then I'm going to the inner aura. Since I want my border in between these two, so I am just inking it. Yeah. And then let's get started. So I'm going to start with my C stroke like this, come back again, come back again. So if you want, you can create tangulations here. You can add something else as you turn the C, for example, a muka or anything else. Let's see if we want to add small little things and create a nice variation. But first, the basic stroke, the C stroke. Take your time. Draw at your own pace. Enjoy the stroke. Don't bother if the lines are not very steady. Certain things come with practice, but that should not deter you from taking your practice ahead. Yeah, done with that. So next is to add these auras. If you want, convert this into a muka. Yeah, so small little things that you can do, but again, it's optional. You may not do it like this. Add nice auras, and then if you want the innermost, you can convert it into a muka. You also have these spaces here, right? So if you want, you can add some crescent moon. If you want, you can add something else. We shall see. Probably a nice black pearl or caviar will also look nice. Something like this. Yeah. So take your time. So I'm going to continue like this. The original tangle doesn't have the muka. It is just auras. So this is a small little tangulation that we created. You can add as many auras as you feel like. Yeah. So going to add a caviar throughout. These are again extensions, embellishments. You may or may not do it. You can add anything else you feel like. Yeah. So now moving on to the next. So I'm going to add a fine aura inside so that my border is separate from my inner tangles. Slowly add a fine aura inside. Then starting with our petal panes, starting with the first semicircle. Well, it can be any shape depending on what spaces you have. Slowly add that tangle or leak or a mesh checkerboard inside, and then starting with these nice petal shapes, scallops, before you convert it into petals. Bring the lines down, add a slight curve to the line as you bring it down. Yeah, so I have used this pattern quite a few times in my tangling. Drawing the second one now. Again, if you want, you can also add an aura, right? So let's see, we will do that probably in sets of 1 or 2. Yeah, what I mean to say is like this. Yeah, going on to the third one. Take your time. Tangle petal panes. And then again the same. Yeah, let's draw one here, another one here. Draw at your own pace. Yeah, again simple and beautiful tangle to draw. Used pretty often as far as Zentangle is concerned. Again adding an aura. Yeah, now if you want, they look nice in this arrangement, right? You can add 1 or 2 more if you wish to. You can also add some leaves if you want, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it like this. Probably add 2 more. If you want to create a variation, you can always vary the petal shapes, but I'm sticking to the original here. Yes. So try adding petals like henna drums or something like that. And the last one. Can add an aura. Right, so these are the 2 new tangles that we have learned today. The rest of the tile is entirely up to you. How do you want to go about? So I'm going to go with the tangle circles. Yeah, so I am drawing some curvy lines here. You can go with Nipa, you can go with Knightsbridge, you can go with any tangle of your choice, garlic cloves. I'm drawing circles because I want that drama. Yeah, so I'm going to add these orbs now. Randomly place them over the lines. Take your time. Yeah, so once you have added those orbs, next is to start inking. So we already know how to draw the tangle circles. If you are new to the tangle, please refer to my videos, previous videos. Circles is a Zentangle original. Right? So one section you have to ink that section and leave the orb. The next section you have to ink the orbs and leave the section white. Again the next is alternate. So here I'm inking the section, leave the orbs white. Orb or whatever section of the orb falls in that section to be left white and the section to be inked. right? So we have to alternate that way, and it gives us the tangles circles. You can always replace these orbs with heart shapes, with diamond shapes. Try different things. Small little things, variations can create interesting tangulations. This is the tangle as is. You can also add straight lines if you want. Yeah. So I'll just go on like this. So the next section, the orb has to be inked, or the section of the orb falling in this part has to be inked, and the section remains empty. Again, next, the section has to be inked. Yeah. So almost finishing with my inking the last section here. Take your time. See the drama that the tangle adds to your tile. So ink patiently. If you don't wish to ink, you can also add some tangles like shattuck or any other tangle of your choice instead of inking the sections. So entirely up to you. How do you want your tile to be? So done with the inking. Let us now see what else can we do. So these sections which are empty, if you want, you can just ink here. Yeah. So it will add a little more to the look of your tangle. Wigwag. So I'll just quickly go ahead and ink these in between spaces, intersectices. If you want, you can add tiny orbs or anything else there. Yeah. So I'm done with that. One last thing that I'm going to do here is add these fine lines and fill the in between space, just like we do for the tangle that we learned recently, footlights. Something like that. If you want, you can draw straight lines also. If you want, you can keep that space empty also. So I just felt like adding these lines there. I think it is adding to the look of the tangle. So take your time slowly with a very light hand. Don't push your pen hard. Draw fine lines emanating from these caviars and filling up this space. Yeah. Almost finishing there. Drawing my lines just like rays, sun rays. Take your time. Yeah. So let's now move on to shading our tile. If you want, you can add some etching here. We shall see if we want to do that. Yeah. So the tangle wigwag, good idea to add some shade from where lines are emerging, merging. Well, you have a muka inside, so the moment you create tangulations, you might want to vary the shading also. So you can always go ahead and add some touches to your muka. Yeah. So let's blend this much first. Soft touch, not much. Take your time. Go to each. Blend the graphite. Make sure you don't blend too much. That's about it. Yeah. Moving on next to our petal paints. So I'm going to add graphite here and on the inside. Like this. Yeah. So let's do that for all. Let's blend now. Don't blend too much. So that's our petal paints. And the next is to shade your circles. So I'm going to add some thick graphite here. You can also shade under the lines, but I'm not going to shade that way. I'm instead going to add darkness to one side, bring it about half of my circles. Yeah, like this. So it's entirely up to you. How do you want to shade your tangle? This is how I feel like doing it at this point of time. High and low. But you can always do the way you wish to. Yeah. Now comes the time for chalk. So the other part of circles, you can always add some chalk. Where you have not added the graphite, you can highlight it with your chalk. Just make sure you blend it, you soften it with the rest so that it doesn't look patchy. Yeah. So that's our circle. You can add touches of chalk on your petal paints also inside here. Yeah. I want to redo this line once more. Add a little thickness to it. Probably you can use a bolder nib if you have it handy. So use an 08 and just add some bit of boldness to this border. Like this. Take your time. Yeah. So I am done with that exercise. I have added a little boldness to my outer border, right? So last but not the least, if you wish, you can add some nice etching here. It will add to the look of your petal panes. If you want, you can add it to a few, you can add it to all, whichever way you like it. Yeah, so I'm going to do it for all. I think it's adding to the look of the tile. So let's do that. Take your time, go to each. Hatching or adding edge marks. A nice way to embellish, enhance the look of your tangles. It's an organic tangle going by Tangle Genesis. Very often used petal paints. And the last one here. Yeah. So that's our tile for today. Let's close it here. I'm going to put in my chop. Don't forget to sign and date your tile. Most important. You get back to it. You remember when and how you drew it. Right? So I shall see you again with another new, in fact, two new. So I'm redoing one line here. Sorry for that. Certain lines go hazy after you have shaded. So always a nice idea to revisit it. Yeah. So I shall see you again with some more new tangles. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.